Okay. Well,
they want me to sing in something, and I'm like, sure, I'll sing. And I karaoke with them, and both of them, they're like, we didn't know you could kind of sing. I was like, yeah, I can hold it too. And like, I have my go-to songs for karaoke that I know how to sing and I know how to perform. But I'm not going to lie and say that I think I have the best voice in the world. I don't. I'm not. If I did, I would be singing, and I'd be famous for singing already. Like, I don't have the best voice in the world. So I could see why those actors would maybe be like, for performance-wise and to enjoy this even more, let's have John Legend, who is known for his singing and having one of the most beautiful voices, sing it.
Okay. I can kind of see the point there. I can totally sympathize and totally get why they did that now. It was just kind of a little bit disappointing, because I would have thought that, even if it was like auto-tune, well, then again, we don't want to have an Ashley Simpson, deal where, like the song goes and they just miss their cue, or it just seems like, they're mouthing other random words or something like that. I can understand why they probably didn't have Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling did that, if that's the case. But
right, we don't know, but I agree with you, though. It does take a little bit away from the movie. You're like, aw. I mean, that was one of the big key things about Les Mis when they won all those awards and stuff for 4 years ago, the Oscars, the 85th or something like that.
Yeah.
Was all the actors sang. And again, we made fun of him. Russell Crowe, not a great voice, sounded kind of bad, but they still let him sing. And it's like, it kind of took away from the movie to have a bad singer, but it also added stuff with all your great singers. It's just, you win. It's a double-edged sword. Like, if you change his voice and then people are like, oh, well, you lied about all your actors singing originally. You're like, oh, shit. Well, yeah, I did, because it sucks. But yeah, I don't know. I could see them definitely just not being as good as maybe La La Land, the movie, final production, came out and had them sound.
So you mean to tell me that not only is Hugh Jackman a total badass when it comes to Wolverine, but he can actually sing pretty well?
Oh my gosh, yes. He has an amazing voice. He actually got started on Broadway.
Wow. I actually did not know that. Well, actually, it's crazy when you see like a lot of these actors that you see in one role and then they do like a completely different role that seems like it's out of their element. Like for me, it was, who was it? Gerard Butler, when he was in the role of Phantom of the Opera. First of all, I didn't even know that was even him. I thought it was just some other random character, but apparently it was him. He just shaved his beard off and everything. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard him sing, my jaw literally dropped to the ground. I'm like, what? This is the same guy who was in 300.
That's a great movie. Great movie, and yes, it was him. It was him.
Oh, man. Well, going off of that and moving on to Best Live Action Short Film went to Sing. Best Animated Short Film went to Piper, which was an adorable movie. Best Documentary went to OJ Made in America. Best Documentary went to The White Helmets. Best Animated Feature Film went to Zootopia. Let's discuss that a little bit. Again, I thought that this was crazy that in the Golden Globe Awards, Zootopia took the win for that. And I thought, well, it's probably going to be a one-time thing. They're probably going to give it to, Moana, or they're going to give it to maybe Kubo and the Two Strings. But no, Zootopia took the Oscar win. And I think we kind of touched base on this. We kind of talked about, like the differences between some of the movies, like Kubo and Moana. No, we don't know that much about My Life as Zucchini or The Red Turtle. As soon as I saw, like, basically what those movies were, I'm like, oh, okay, so My Life as Zucchini is not about vegetables. Okay, then. Like, at least it's not like Sausage Party. The Red Turtle was basically about a red turtle. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not bad. But yeah, I think it had to be neck and neck between Zootopia and Moana, because both of them had, great storylines. The plots were great. Character development was just amazing. I think it might have went to Zootopia maybe because it had a little more, I don't know, I think they had the family side to it, but also had a little more, I guess, adult humor to it. I just think that maybe Zootopia really brought it home with just being, again, original and being something that, Disney hasn't done something in years, I think. They haven't really done too many animal-based movies as much. Moana still was great, though. I will say that. But I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It was a totally different look. And what's kind of weird, though, is, like, when Zootopia came out, I'm pretty sure, like, a few other movies that were semi-similar, like, Sing from DreamWorks, I think, with, like, at Koala, it was, like, a singing competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was coming out, and other things were kind of, like, mirroring what Zootopia was, like, just with the whole characters or animal cast who just live in this animal world and yada yada. But I couldn't compare any of the movies that came out to Zootopia. Again, like we said in our live broadcast of the Oscars, I legit watched Zootopia like 5 times already. And the reason I watched it in the first place was my sister's boyfriend's daughter wanted to watch it, and I'm like, oh, yay. Like, this is going to suck. But I see talking animals with big eyes, and you're like, oh, this is going to be like a little kid movie. I'm excited, and I love Disney movies, but I'm like, okay, sure, we can watch it. I'm tired. I'll probably fall asleep. And I stayed up, and I loved it. And it's funny because, like, the kid, she was, like, quoting from it. I'm like, shh, quiet. I need to be quiet. I need to listen to this. It had great little music. It wasn't all about song and dance like some kids in Disney movies are. It was just amazing. And again, like you were saying, it had adult humor, like stuff that I got that the kid didn't get. And I was like, oh, thank goodness you don't get this. But it taught just, to treat people equally and don't judge people, don't have stereotypes over other animals or humans. And it was just really fun. And I'm glad they won because out of all the movies that were there, I definitely have watched Moana I think twice. But I don't usually rewatch a movie within like a 3-month period 5 times. And for me to be able to do that and tell people, like, you should see this movie, especially now that it's on Netflix. Like, anybody who has Netflix, I'm like, have you seen this yet? And they're like, oh, it's a little kid movie. I'm like, no, you need to watch it. It's enjoyable. You'll like it. And it's just one of those movies that it's like, hey, if you're going to bed, you want something enjoyable, just turn it to Zootopia on. You might not fall asleep unless you've seen it 5 times like me. But, yeah, I love it. I think well-deserved. Happy they won.
Oh, man. Moving on from that to Best Foreign Language Film, The Salesman from Iran. I was actually kind of surprised by that, but at the same time, it was kind of really good to see that, even with everything that has gone on in the Middle East, that, we still recognize, very talented and very well done, movies, despite any differences that we may have, politically. This was just one of those movies where I think that you and I were thinking that it was probably going to go to the, A Man Called Ave, or maybe even, I think that was the one that I kind of predicted. And then it went to The Salesman, and I'm like, oh, wow. And then I remembered, oh yeah, it was in Iran. Holy cow. That kind of takes me by surprise. It's just really cool to see that, despite differences that we may have with the Middle East, it's so good to at least say that, hey, we're giving you guys the thumbs up. It's really cool that you made this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I have not seen any of those movies, so I don't know which one was the best. So I think when we were saying, oh, I hope this, I hope that, I mean, I literally said I'm just going by the country and whether or not I want to go there. And I'm pretty sure the first 3 that came up were Denmark, Sweden, and Australia. And I'm like, oh, man, I want to go to all those places. And then there was the Iran and Germany, I'm pretty sure, were the last 2 or something. And I was like, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I probably don't really want to go to Iran right now. It's not on my top 10 list. And I was like, so I guess I'll pick Australia because that's where I want to go first. So going off of those choices, going off by where they're from, is not a good picking style. I haven't seen any of them, so I'm pretty sure that the movie that won the movie, The Salesman?
Yeah, The Salesman, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's probably an incredible movie, and that's probably why they won. It wasn't because of where it was made, and I think that's a great part of the Academy, which the Academy does pretty good. The Academy isn't an American society. It's an international Academy of Filmmakers. It just happens to always be hosted in the United States because that's where most movies are made. A majority of movies are made in LA, and that's why it's always hosted there. So, yeah, they do international stuff all the time, so I'm glad they include everybody.
Yeah, we'll kind of talk about another international actress who got nominated for one of the higher Academy Awards in just a minute, but going through to Best Original Screenplay was won by Manchester by the Sea. Best Adapted Screenplay was Moonlight. Best Supporting Actor was, hopefully I say his name right, Mahershala Ali from Moonlight. And Best Supporting Actress was Viola Davis for Fences. Man, Viola Davis gave one of the best speeches that really did move me quite a bit. And it was one of those things where I've seen her work before, and she's definitely well deserving of that that win. I honestly thought it was going to go to Octavia Spencer for Hidden Figures, even though a lot of people might disagree. It's like, well, she was more of a comedy character than anything. And it's like, well, she still played a pivotal role in that movie, and she played one of the best, I guess, I don't know if the phrase underknown is even accurate, but just underappreciated characters in the Nassau, history. And then you got Michelle Williams, Manchester by the Sea. It was one of those things where it's like, well, she appeared like maybe 4 times max in that movie, so I can't really say that she did too much or brought too much to that movie. No disrespect to Michelle Williams. It's just one of those things where it was just like, I don't know how she really got to that, but I guess they needed to promote Manchester by the Sea. But again, Viola Davis, definitely well deserving of that Oscar win for Fences. And it was hard for me to almost not cry when she put her heart into it. It was just one of those things where it's like, you definitely deserve it. You definitely deserve the victory. Your thoughts on, I guess, the 4 categories that I mentioned?
Yeah, I was rooting for, I'm not sure, I hate this, Mr. Ali, I'll call him. I was rooting for his role in Moonlight. And again, I didn't get a chance to watch all of Moonlight, but I was able to get bits and pieces of his part in his conversations with the younger actor that he played, that he was basically supporting. And it was incredible, and just his versatility is awesome to see. Like, he was like being like a thug guy in this movie, and like you were just talking about, Hidden Figures, he's like this, like, award-winning, like, admiral or something, or captain, or some person in the military that is very high-ranked, and I felt like he was like everywhere this year. So for him to win an award and bring home the award, I thought was really awesome. And for Moonlight too, which Moonlight, like we were talking about before, we can talk more about it later because we probably will. But it was just really good to see. So he did a good job.
Well, actually, what's really crazy is, like I said, I'm getting most of my facts on the Wikipedia page, and actually on the side here it has like pictures of who won this movie, blah blah blah. It actually has Ali's picture, and it says Best Supporting Actor winner and the first Muslim recipient of the award. I'm like, wow, that's.
Oh, wow.
You mean to tell me after 89, it took 89 years for them to finally give them an award? Well, okay, fine. At least it went to somebody very well deserving. I mean, spot on, you, Ali.
Right.
Now we get on to the final 4, which, oh boy, this is going to be very interesting, especially when we get to Best Picture. But first, going with Best Actor, Casey Affleck winning for his performance in Manchester by the Sea. I was in shock by this. I was honestly thinking it was going to go to maybe Ryan Gosling, Denzel Washington,